Hey. Yeah. Randy Rodoni, here it is. This is the Mental Breakthrough, episode 43.
Hell yeah.
I've been jocking you on Facebook and Instagram. Jocking your body's all right, but it's really that stash that I'm after.
Hey, that beard's looking good though, dude.
Yeah, no, I kind of spruced it up a little bit for you because
Yeah.
we can
Hell
get
yeah.
some mustache rides, maybe.
Got throw a little beard oil in that bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, I used a little hair straightener to straighten it up a little bit because otherwise it's
Yeah.
pretty curly.
I like the dude. You're getting fucking real fucking out there, my man.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Uh, Yeah, dude, it's been a long time. I wanna catch up because I mean, there's been a lot of it's been a long time actually since we caught up.
Oh,
I mean, we're online. Social media is nice because you're somewhat connected, but then it also makes it so you feel like you're not you don't need to reach out because it's like, I kind of know what you're doing, but it's like it's good to actually have a conversation with you. Um,
yeah.
so let's back up a little bit and get some backstory just in case. I want to catch up with you if we weren't doing a podcast. But I'd go straight to the hey, what's up? What's happened since I left, which is actually a lot to cover. But
Yeah.
let's do a whole backstory. I mean, I remember meeting you in the sauna uh
Yeah.
before wanting to fight. The podcast kind of this the it, it was the mental breakdown. I like the double entendre about being like analyzing your mind, but I want to go through it. I had Melvin Washington on here. We talk about, transitioning. We're at that age, we transition from past our maybe physical prime to some extent, but it's good to see you still pushing it, you know,
Yeah.
but at the same time, there's got to be a mental block there, recognizing that sometime you have to accept that, okay, I'm past my best stage. You've had to have gone through that maybe from a martial arts perspective. At some point your body's wear and tear, and you kind of
For
transition.
sure.
We all need something to transition to. For me, it was the land, working on the land. I kind of transitioned fighting to farming. You've kind of transitioned to bodybuilding and just looking sexy. But anyway, give me the whole backstory, how you got into MMA and how it transitioned into what you're doing. You've got a family. I actually know nothing about that, or got kids at least with you.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're married or not married, or those are
Yeah. Single dad right now.
single dad. Oh wow. And you're okay. Wow. Okay. So yeah,
Yeah.
I want to catch up to that. Let's give us
I got more than 50-50. So yeah, I got it pretty lucky.
okay.
Um, yeah, I mean, co-parenting's okay. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
The whole thing sucks, but it is what it is at this point. Yeah, I mean, I remember the first time I met you, you're actually the one that got me in MMA. I would have never done it. And I remember you coming into this, we were in the sauna and you told me to try it out. And I remember saying to this day, I was like, man, I don't want to get fucking kneed in my mouth. I said, that sounds shitty. Like I wanted to do boxing. And you're like, come in and try it. And that's when you had we were at that warehouse. Had that warehouse at the time.
Was that Cody
And
Canterbury's warehouse then?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay, that was that one. And then, but I met you at the gym that we later ended up practicing out of, that North
yeah,
Highland gym. Okay,
Huckabah.
yeah,
I met Dave, and then we all started kind of training together from there.
yeah,
And yeah, and then Larry, me,
yeah,
you, Nelson, Jesse, Eli. Fucking, I
yeah,
haven't seen him forever either.
yeah. He's back in Orville. He's doing well. He's doing well. He's clean and sober and stuff. That's most of us made it out of there alive.
His, I was the only one that's never done anything. I've never drank, never smoked,
Wow,
nothing.
that's crazy. Okay, wow,
Yeah,
yeah. I knew that kind of, but yeah, that's pretty intense.
I have never.
But you know what that means? That means you could be a ticking time bomb. See, at least I know that for me, it was actually probably the drinking was even worse because I just go blackout. Drugs are obviously terrible on your body long term, but I was kind of able to function. Alcohol, I just black out drunk, and at least I know that. But we
Yeah.
don't know what you're like then. If you've never done it, we have no idea what kind of
I,
monster you become.
times in my life, that's it. I've never done pills, no smoking, nothing like that. And it was never me. I always felt like I had to be around my surroundings. For one, my friends are fucking batshit crazy at the time. And I always felt like I had to get out of I had to know where my surroundings are and be able to escape or be able to fight or whatever the fuck it was, right? Sober, to get out of that situation. So, My lights just went out.
Yeah. I have. I heard this Chinese,
All
right?
good.
Chinese cyber attack again. I know you guys have been having them lately.
There's lights in the house right now, so he turned off the fucking power in the back. You're all good, dude. I have to be blue lighting it, but
That's cool. Yeah,
uh,
sometimes I've got some people don't even have the camera on. It's cool. Yeah, and most people that listen, if they do, it'd be audio. Audio is the main thing. I do like looking at that stash though. But all right,
yeah, dude. I could go in the house in a little bit.
yeah, you know.
But yeah, what were we talking about? What was Oh, about drinking and smoking. Yeah, I always wanted to know where my surroundings were, so I've always been fucking paranoid. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
um, I've always been, and also my mom was a drug addict, so I didn't want to be anything like that. So, like, I was
Okay. Yeah.
always the opposite. Yeah, and my dad was always sober. My dad was sober from when I was 3 years old all the way till now.
Okay.
So that took
Okay.
that as a as an inspiration too.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah.
go ahead.
What do you think about me? You knew that I was doing drugs sometimes. I look at it, and most people, I don't know. I know. I mean, yeah. How's that? I mean, because I'm
Oh,
training.
dude. I
What
knew you were. I mean, you were fucking. You were always crazy. You know what I mean? Like I loved it though. You know what I mean? Like you were just you. I mean, there was no one like you. You're authentic. You know what I mean? Like you were fucking crazy. You had the tooth missing. You're fucking fighting anybody, anytime, anywhere. It didn't matter who the fuck it was. I mean, you fought everybody. You fought like some of the greats at that time. You know, that were in the UFC. You never fucking got tapped for the longest fucking time. You know, I mean, you're fucking out there just getting it all the time. You're sleeping under the fucking ring. Like you were just crazy, dude.
Yeah, I get okay. Yeah, that's yeah. Um, yeah, no, it's a weird. Yeah, it's a weird. I guess yeah. So I was all in that, and then, yeah, when I left that. So yeah, for me, it was either. I mean, when I came out here to Thailand, I still was kind of in it. Like I wanted to do it. I did some Muay Thai fights, but I kind of went through that stage where I recognized like I'm as well as the Muay Thai fights too, because that's a whole different game. And the
Whole
Muay
different
Thai out
game.
here is so much different. Like I
Oh,
you always remember like I'd check kicks with my elbows, and that would stop people, even top level, UFC fighters that I fought. I'd check them one time with my elbow, and they'd stop kicking with that foot. And out here,
yeah,
you check them with your elbow, and it doesn't affect them at all. And then they're these are just mid level fighters, and then and so anyway, so it's just a different game. But of course, I mean, in an MMA game, I'd shoot in and take somebody down in that situation. So I kind of recognized, and MMA hadn't really blown up out here yet. It still really never has, because Muay Thai just has the control. But anyway, so
yeah.
I just transitioned my whole life, put my focus and my passion.
What age did you stop at? Like what was your like calling? Like you were like I'm done. Like this is it.
I must have been, let's see, I came out, it would have been, I was like 31 or 2 or 3 or something around there. Yeah, yeah. I came out here when I was 31, and I kind of thought maybe I'd still continue for a while. I think by the time I was, 32, I was already kind of like
Yeah,
shortly
this is it.
after I came out here. So that, yeah. So yeah, what,
Did
what,
you
what
have
about
one more
you?
fight? Did you have one more fight and you're like, fuck it, like this is it for me? Or
I
like
had 3 Muay Thai fights out here, and I was trying to get an MMA fight. If I would have got an MMA fight, I probably would have prolonged it a little longer. It was just starting to get, there was this one that's kind of big, ONE FC, that was getting big in Singapore, and I was trying to get like uh some fights. Nobody would fight me because it was all because I had way too many fights. There was like, it
yeah,
was a
yeah,
different crowd. It was like a new international crowd coming up, people, in Malaysia and Indonesia, and they were like, "Oh, I don't want to fight this guy. We're trying to build up these fighters and shit." And
yeah,
then so I took the Muay Thai fights, and I was like, "Yeah, this ain't. I'm not gonna go that far. I'm fighting mid-level guys that are." I beat my 2 first guys, knocked them out, and then
yeah,
the last guy I fought he beat me by decision, and he just. I mean, he was like, he had like a couple hundred fights, but he wasn't like any but name specifically, but that his shins were just so. I mean, it got to the point where I was, yeah, I'd check him. Luckily I can fight orthodox and southpaw easily. I switched my stance. I'd, all my style stuff that I did, I ended up like, I'd block stuff and he'd kick me in my ribs. Eventually my ribs hurt so bad that I had to like cover my ribs. And then I was like eating it in my head, which I'm used to doing.
yeah.
It just tore me apart on every
Fucking yeah.
on both sides, and I think there was only
Yeah.
3 threes, and in 3 threes, I was like, man, I don't know if I could go
Yeah.
another round. I was just like weathering it out the whole time, and I was kicking and punching. It's just different style. He didn't really care where his kicks landed. It was just, my shoulder, my elbows, my knees, everything
Yeah.
was harmed, and I was like,
It'd be
yeah, this ain't for me.
crazy shit out there. They don't fuck around.
Yeah, and in MMA, of course, I would have shot in and gone to the ground at
Put 'em
that
down.
time. So it was a weird. So I knew I didn't want to do that, and I did. I met my wife at that time, or I mean, who's my wife now? I met early on. I met her within 6 months being out here, and and I realized I wanted to stay here in Thailand, and that was like that's kind of a shady gig trying to. I consider like being a trainer and stuff, but it just didn't. I liked training when I was fighting. I'd use the people I teach as partners too, and
Yeah.
we kind of build up together. I never really enjoyed just being the trainer, walk around training somebody. So
Yeah. Sure.
and the gigs wasn't. It's hard out here, like for visas and stuff. It ain't like America. You can just climb over the border and get your visa and shit. I'm married. I don't have a permanent visa. I have to renew it every year. They do all these questions. I'll never get citizenship. Like and so, but point being that to get a legitimate like visa, because most people doing that are doing these tourist visa. They have to leave and come back. They go to Myanmar, go to Cambodia and Laos,
Yeah.
and something back and forth, and it's 3 months, and you're kind of doing this, paying off bribes to different border officials and stuff. Sometimes if you have to stay
Wow.
over too many times. So I was like, what can I do? I actually really love this country. I love the culture and everything. I want to stay here. And that's how I got into teaching English. I did a little English teaching program. I had my bachelor's degree in philosophy back at Sac State. I never used it for anything, and everyone said, what are you going to do with a degree in philosophy? I was like, I don't know. It's just, a degree is usually can help you at some point, and it turned out that it did. You need a bachelor's
Yeah.
degree to get a work permit, so it's perfect. Okay, I got my bachelor's degree, and then I did this 1 month English teaching program, and then I got a job teaching at an elementary school, and I loved it. So then I just kind of continued English teaching, and I kind of just forgot about my MMA and
Yeah.
fighting.
Crazy how life works out that way though, man. It's like you think that's gonna be your career forever, and then like it does hit you, and you're like, damn, like this isn't for me anymore. And then
Yeah,
like you got to go from there, and you put all your eggs in one basket, especially with fighting, which is crazy to even think about now, to just throw all your eggs in that basket and just fucking be like, yeah, this is gonna be me. And then like you get knocked out or you get hurt or injured, and these fucking shit pay money. I mean, how much fucking shit pay fights did we take?
oh yeah,
Fucking
yeah.
$200 or
My
two
first
to
one was
show, two
50
to
50
win.
50 to show, 50 win in Tijuana. So I paid more than that. My Greyhound ticket, food and stuff down there. I had a place to stay,
Yeah.
brand stuff. But I mean, like, yeah, that was not, yeah,
And then and especially with like Gladiator Challenge or like any of these other fights, man, it's like you're going in there, your opponent gets switched because the other guy sells tickets, and the other guy
yeah,
didn't sell as many tickets.
yeah.
They switched the last fight I had. They actually switched my guy, and he ended up being a black, or I'm pretty sure he was a black belt. And like I took it like a week notice of not even, like it freaked me out. You know what I mean? Like fuck, dude. Like I'm going to get a black belt now. And I had a broken floating rib.
Oh,
So I
shit.
still took the fight anyway, because at that point I'm like, and this is how I'm sure this was with you too. Like with anybody who was taking these fights, we had to take them at that point because you put so much money and investment into it. Like you're
Sure.
just making your money back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. That's, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
how much longer did you fight after I left? I left 2012, I think it was.
yeah, man, I
When,
want to say myself. I think it was 2 years off or 4 years off. Um, I took one more fight, and my son was I think he was either just born or just being born, and that was my last fight because I looked at, so this was my noticing to me. It was like when I looked into the like I was just looking at the people inside there. We're all warming up and fucking putting our wrist wraps on and all that shit on. It's the same people, same spot, 10 years later, and like I see Jamie Hara. He's fucking walking with canes, you know. He's walking with a cane. His fucking knees are all fucked up. Dave Huckaba's there. His fight backed out. Um, you know, it was all the same people, same spot. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? You know what I mean? For 500 fucking dollars. You
Yeah.
know, and like when you win, everybody loves you, right?
Yeah.
And when you lose, you see who the fuck your real friend is. Like it's a rough fucking sport, dude. Like,
Oh
and
yeah.
when you lose, you could be in the darkest spot ever, you
Yeah.
know, because you put everything into these fucking fights, regardless if you win or lose, you know, and like
Yeah. Yeah.
losing fucking sucks.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Especially if you get knocked out or fucking injured. Like I got knocked out in my second fight with Michael McDonald, which I took on a week notice. He was a
Yeah.
bad
Oh,
motherfucker.
Michael McDonald's badass. Yeah.
Yeah, and I fucking got him, dude. I had him fucking beat. I had him stuck in a guillotine, and he fucking stuck his thumb in my eye, dude. And he admitted to it later on, but he got out the choke. We stood up. I had like one fucking eye, and we're swinging for the fences. And this was on Indian reservation. Cecil Peoples was the ref.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Oh, he's never paying attention, dude. He's always taking it
dude,
easy.
I got kneed in the nuts one time. Cecil Peoples just told me to fucking deal with it. He said, "Fucking deal with it." And I'm like, okay, dude.
I actually like him. Yeah, he's funny, but he's
Yeah,
a daydreamer, man.
yeah, shitty ref. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that was my calling to me. I was like, I had the broken floating rib, and I'm like fucking in pain, and I still like any kind of weird movement with my back. I was like, fuck, dude, like I feel it pop. But I won first round, second round was real close, and the third round he got me with an arm bar, and that was it. And I was like, you know what, I'm done, and I'm gonna do what I suck at now, which was jujitsu. I was shitty on the ground, so my ground game was shit. So I was like, well, fuck it, I'm
I
not
know.
gonna get hit in the head anymore. You know, I'm not gonna get hit in my head anymore. I'm gonna do jujitsu. I'm gonna do what I suck at, and I'm gonna get good at that. I'm just gonna compete in that, and that's kind of where I've been at with that. And I've been doing it with Felipe and
Oh
Derek,
yeah.
um, and Jesse will come in every once in a while. I had him going for a little while. He's a heavyweight now.
Oh yeah. Oh, is he? Oh, okay.
No, he's big. No, shout out to
He's always
Jesse though.
big
He's
though.
my
He's
boy.
he's he's tall. So anyway, so he's
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No, he's a good dude. I fucking love Jesse. We go hunting all the time.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You mentioned it. Yeah, yeah. He was on here. Yeah, in the future, I want to get more like more threesomes, foursomes on
Yeah,
these
dude, like
podcasts.
me, you, Nelson. That'd be cool. If
Oh
fucking
yeah,
Eli get all the
yeah,
whole
yeah,
gang.
yeah. He
I'll
hasn't.
never
Eli
forget
hasn't
Eli.
done it.
Yeah,
He's out on me.
yeah, I remember fucking Eli beat the shit out of me one time, dude. I was fucked up afterwards, dude.
Yeah,
We had some grueling fucking fights in that fucking garage. You
yeah.
know that,
Oh yeah,
dude. There was no like we didn't spar. It was like literally fighting every time.
yeah. That was the train. That was the training.
It-
Yeah,
yeah,
just
for sure.
I mean
And we were
that
the small guy.
arcade style too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's yeah. Just getting new fresh guys in on you too, especially when you're training for your fight. And it was fun because I mean, yeah, we always say like fatigue makes a bitch out of anyone, and so it's like when somebody when we get Eli when when we're Shark Tank, and that was our chance because he's a badass
Yeah,
and he's bigger than us and he's badass and he's quick and
Sharks are
agile because he wrestled with me in Orville, and he was a lightweight, so he wrestles, he fights like a lightweight on light. I mean, he's a scrambler, but he's also just big and he's top heavy too. Just got like broad shoulders, just strong ass
yeah,
dude. And then but when we're Shark Tanking him, we're able to get one in on him. So
yeah.
when we do,
Dude, he
we
used to be
get
able
it.
to get that vine in and stretch you out, dude, and just take your back and just stretch you out and fucking just go to town, dude.
Yeah, yeah,
He was fucking good at that.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and Nelson, he was tough as shit.
Oh
That
yeah,
motherfucker was crazy too.
yeah, yeah. No, that's
he
always
was like he was like the fighter. I wish he was like the fighter that was so good in the gym, and I feel like that was kind of like with me too. Is like you'd be so good in the gym, but like for some reason, like when you go out into the fucking actual MMA world, like we'd fucking suck compared to what we are in the practice.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like I was like that in wrestling in high school and college wrestling. I felt like I was way better in the and it took me so that was 7 years of competitive wrestling, and then it wasn't until like yeah one of my fights when I first got booed. I remember in San Diego, and I was fighting a hometown boy and stuff, and it just kind of I cracked out of my shell and so it took all that time basically of competitive that it takes a while to break out of your shell, and maybe you never even did. Like I said,
Yeah,
I never did in all my high school and college wrestling. I remember everyone was always like, "Dude, you're good," and Eli would always say that too because he was pretty good competitive and stuff. But he's like, dude, you're good. Like he'd wrestle with me in the practice. He's like, dude, I don't understand why you're shit when you when you compete.
Yeah.
There is a psychological aspect there of just just like, I guess, breaking out of your shell is one thing. So
Yeah.
tell me about I mean, so you're right now, you are still doing jujitsu, you're competing, or you're just kind of doing
Yeah,
it?
I still compete here and there. It's
Okay.
not like every week,
Yeah.
but I compete here and there. I just did a marathon not that long ago. I took a marathon on a month notice, which is
Oh shit.
fucking crazy. So I started running when me and the ex first broke up, and I just like didn't have my kids. I was having like a real fucking hard time just sitting there, So I started running, and like that was kind of like an outlet. And then like I was like, well, I'm gonna work out 2 times a day. So I do, 2 times a day working out, and either that or I'm doing running at night. I'm working out with weights in the morning. At night, I'm either doing some type of cardio, or I'm running, or I'm doing jujitsu. So like that's been like my
Okay.
routine for 7 days straight, right?
Yeah.
So someone's like, "Hey, do you want to do a marathon? I got an extra ticket." And I was running a little bit, maybe 12 miles tops. You know what I mean, like here and there through the week. Um, and I was like, "Fuck it, let's do it," right? So she gave me a free ticket, and I did I did it on a month notice of 26 miles. And man, I'll tell you, out of everything I've ever done mentally, that was by far probably the hardest thing I've ever done. The
Good.
last three the last 3 miles, I was in. Well, from mile 17 on, I was in fucking pain. Like
Yeah.
my legs fucking, I couldn't even stretch. Nothing. I was like, I tried to stretch, it got stuck. I said, well, that ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
So I was the whole time. The last 3 miles was probably the hardest thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
I couldn't even walk after. I couldn't walk. I could barely get to the car. I was dehydrated. Like it was crazy.
Yeah. Wow. I did a triathlon before I came up here in Chiang Mai, the north of Thailand, when I was living in Phuket. We did it. That was pretty intense. For me, it was the swimming too. I never really knew how to swim well. I mean, I'm no, I'm not afraid of drowning. I can stay above water, but like
Yeah,
actual swimming, but but
yeah. I'm like a
I was I was slow on that part anyway, but I didn't care. I got kind of fast. I was just practicing that, and then I never practiced running the whole time. I was doing hill charges and then riding the bike and then swimming and stuff, and then but it's in that order: swimming, bike, and then running. And then so
yeah,
it's only maybe 10 kilometers at the end, or 12 or something. But I've just swam and did the
yeah,
bike, and I was on a bike that I was training on a mountain bike, but then I rented this like road bike, and it's better, I guess. It's skinnier tires, but it's
yeah,
your body's different. So I was working a different part of my legs, more my quads. I mean
yeah,
and so I was that was intense finishing that. It was the run
yeah.
that finishing. It was crazy. Um, but yeah, that was just something kind of to do. So you're I never, that one thing I kind of think like, yeah, it would have been nice if I got into, because I was never explosive. I never really had, I was never really able to just overpower people in my fights. I was more relied on flexibility and stamina.
Which
And
was
yeah, I
good.
see you are, you're doing some heavy lifting, which is, or and stuff. I mean, how does that,
I lift. I don't lift super heavy. Like people
or,
might
okay,
think Um, yeah, I
maybe,
don't really go 30 pounds with a lot of things. Sometimes I'll bench a little heavy, but
okay,
most of the time I stay in like a 30-pound range, something where I could get 10 to 12 in comfortably, where it
okay,
hurts, where
yeah,
it's just right. And then when I start getting that, I'll go up a little bit. But yeah, I don't go. Yeah,
okay,
I'm not
you're not maxing out.
doing it.
Okay, okay, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
because you got a lot of bulk, or is that just the lighting or new AI
No,
technology? You're
book.
enhancing your photos, or that's,
Yeah, I'm about 160 now, which is big for our size. I'm
yeah,
5'5",
yeah,
not much. Me, I think.
yeah, 5'7"
What?
tall, yeah,
How tall are
5'7" maybe, yeah, yeah.
you? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
I
yeah,
swear I was taller before. I just measured it. It's like, yeah, I think I've shrunk. Actually, I blame it on this speedboat I was on out here to an island. I swear it's just like boom, boom. It's like slapping. I swear I lost an inch, dude, from like my spine getting compressed on each, like I could feel it. I could feel my spine just like all whatever
yeah.
was in between it is gone. And I lost an inch. Yeah.
Yeah. How crazy. So where are you at right now? Like what's your location now?
I'm in Chiang Mai, which is in the north of Thailand. We're far from the ocean, in the mountainous region, close to Laos and Myanmar, kind of on the northern. close to the northern border. If you remember those kids getting stuck in the cave, that was in Chiang Rai, which is about an hour north of us. Do you remember that
Mm,
thing going down when there
I
was
don't.
yeah, it's pretty crazy, pretty intense. Everyone, it was like it got a lot of. They even made a movie out about it, I think, and a documentary. It was like 7 years ago or something, and it was a soccer team. They just were going in this cave for fun. It was their coach, and then like they were like 12 year olds or something, and their coach, and they just doing some exploring. But I mean, you get flash floods here, and they got flooded in, and but everyone just, I mean, people gave up. Like these they're dead. Like I mean, how could you survive? But the cave is like you can go in and out, so you were able to go deep into the cave. But when the flash flood comes, it
Yeah,
flooded all which they came in, and I mean, and it's dark, complete dark. They were in there
yeah.
for like, I don't know if it was a week or something. I mean, I mean, they
Did
were
they all die?
what? And they all survived. I mean, they got him. There was somebody died trying to save him. There's all, it was cool. Like Elon Musk got into it. He said he was gonna, like, he offered to do some, like, everyone is just, it was kind of intense because
Uh,
obviously we felt it here, but I did see a lot of, it got a lot of world coverage. Like people were offering, all these like professional scuba divers were like coming because it was just so emotional because these are kids, and what you
Kids.
don't know, everyone kind of started giving up on them after a few days. Like, they're probably dead and run out of oxygen and this, and they were like trying to drill in from the top, use radar technology. It was like they were using all kinds of different methods.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people were racing to get in. Some scuba diver, there's actually a scuba diver that died trying to get in because, I mean, you got to be like a really experienced scuba diver, know your shit, because uh the, I mean, just the territory was some people had, oh, I know these tunnels and stuff, but finally one guy did. UK scuba diver guy made it in, and he had some like speakers and stuff, but then it was like, okay, how do we get him out and stuff? It's still, yeah, it was a big ordeal. It was pretty intense,
Yeah. Fucking crazy. Just
but
imagine
none
if
of
that
them
was your
died. Yeah, they got them all out, and it was a time ticking time
kids.
thing.
How
Anyway, yeah, that's up in the north. So we got a lot of mountains. I'm kind of in the valley, more of a, there is a major city. Chiang Mai is actually the second largest city, but Thailand is pretty much just Bangkok as far as like population wise. It's called a proton city, where it's just like 10% of the population of the country is in that area, or even in
yeah,
that greater Bangkok area, probably even more than that, probably 20% if you go to the next. I mean, it's just so centralized there that even though we're the second largest city, and I'm like an hour south of that city, but that city is even pretty spread out and mountainous and stuff. So it's really
yeah.
jungly. Yeah, I love it out here. I hope you can come out here sometime. And
Yeah, that would be fucking cool. I mean, my daughter's so young right now, it's hard for me to do too much, but like, she'll be two down here in April. So
yeah, well, they can fly
get,
free before they're right until when they can. But actually, no, I'm setting up something 2040, because that's what I say. I mean, I tell a lot of people come out here, but right now we're kind of in our prime for like, middle age prime as far as, make money, establish yourself. What I'm actually trying to do here is more create. I'm creating a place that I want to die in. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I want to do all my hard labor here, build it, my walkways and stuff. And then when I'm older, it'll just be more maintenance, trimming trees, pruning trees, pulling weeds, stuff. But I want to create this kind of like this little wonderland. When you come here, I want it to have like this mystical, enchanting feeling and stuff. So I'm really trying to create a place. 2040 is when I'm actually, I say this thing called the gathering. That's when I really want to invite people. Anybody's welcome to come here out before that, but just to kind of set it in, like there's no
yeah,
rush. I'm actually trying to create a place for more when we're at retirement age. So
yeah.
you got time, but
So,
I hope to
so,
create a place that I want to lure people out here. The main thing is just your plane ticket. That's the expensive thing. But once you're out here,
yeah,
things are cheap. You can stay on my land for free. But even if not, I mean, the rent, you want to stay in the city for a little while, stay on my land for a little while, and then go to the city for a little while. I'll kind of help guide you. It's really cheap to do explore.
yeah,
I mean, hotels are only like $10 or something. Stay in a little things like, um. So I'm trying to create something to like that. So
yeah.
it's not
Do
in.
do they have like jujitsu and stuff out there, or is it kind of like dead out there? Or like, is it more of like Muay Thai
Yeah, it's
type of?
definitely more Muay Thai, but jujitsu has, you usually can find some jujitsu out here too.
Yeah.
Like
What are you? what, like, do you do anything now? Do you still train at all, or is it kind
No,
of
no,
just
what
your?
I do now, yeah, no, no, I mean that's right, because that's kind of what this is about, is like, yeah, I mean part of like how that transition, it's hard, right? Because we're adrenaline junkies to some extent,
Oh,
you know what I mean? So it's like, but for me, it's my morning routine. I do yoga. I do some either push-ups or curls or some sort of weight thing, a little bit in there, my breathing exercises, some Wim Hof exercises, and then farming. So it's all man versus nature, man versus self, man versus nature. Now I don't do any uh combative thing, but for me it's the farming that I need that. I'd say that I do my little warm up. I do more yoga and stretches. I mean, I guess I always kind of did. Those are important to me, staying flexible, staying
yeah.
agile, mobile, and hostile.
And I've
Dex.
been the opposite. I've been a fucking board. I've been like
Yeah.
that forever. I've tried to stretch and it does not fucking work for me. I don't even try to stretch anymore. I'm like fucking Kurt Angle at this point.
So yeah, so I love the land. Yeah, the farming, like the dig. Right now, I'm doing my walkways or planting, digging holes and stuff. We cutting grass, pulling weeds. That's
That's
my that
that's
what's that?
that's probably the actual gym, dude. To be honest with you, like yard work is fucking rough.
It is, yeah, yeah, no, and it's nice when it's your land, like, because it's about an acre and a half here. It's beautiful land. It's amazing. Like, it's on the
Yeah,
river. It was an orchard. We bought an orchard, and then I'm just converting the orchard back to its like kind of original jungle state. So I let a lot of shit go wild. It's not like, but I have to tame it. So it's like I call it nature negotiation. I mean, it's shit grows fast and heavy, and there's weeds, and then there's even weed trees. So like I mean, it's like vines and shit, and the vines will like crawl up and tear down my fruit trees that I plant. So I got to stay on it, but I also do. Certain areas I call them designated snake areas, because it's like we get these snakes and shit, and it's like sometimes I just look at it. I'm like, I know there's snakes in that area. I'll just kind of leave
yeah,
the area untamed, but I create these walkways, so I've got clear walkways. It's just, but it's like my land, so it's like it's so, oh yeah, so rewarding intrinsically just to
oh
work
for
on my
sure.
land. Yeah, yeah, I love it. That's all I need to
Yeah,
feel
my
that
dad
need.
half acre, so I kind of like know about that. Like we had pheasants, we had like different shit back in the day, you know what I mean? But my dad was always fucking, we had to always mow the lawn and keep it
Yeah,
all paved, a bunch of trees, stuff like that. But my dad's always been killing it. Still at his age, man, he's still just out there rocking it.
hell yeah,
Um, but yeah, that's a lot of work. I mean, yours is probably even harder, you know what I mean? Because you got like different shit, and you got all these different creatures out there,
oh yeah.
snakes and venomous shit.
Yeah, when we got the rainy season, yeah, I mean and it rains so hard, yeah, it's like the brush or just goes so thick. Like I mean, it's nice because shit grows easily out here. I mean, like, I mean, I mean, I literally I ate threw mango on the cement one time, like somewhere like, or this, we got a couple, and it started growing. Like, I mean, shit grows easily out here, which is nice, but then
Yeah,
everything grows. So the vines, good vines,
yeah,
bad vines, and I gotta, sometimes I don't know what's good. It looks cool. It's like, okay, I'll leave it, it looks nice. And then I find out later, it's actually this like this aggressive vine that's gonna just like take over my trees and stuff. So it's kind of fun. I'm learning a lot. My wife's, it's funny because out here, I mean, I call it the jungle. If you call a Thai person, they might be like, you don't live in the jungle. Like, I consider it the jungle because Thailand is actually 100% jungle. Like, it's literally in it is a jungle. So, but for Thai people, there's, if you go into the mountains a little not far from where we are, they would consider that more the jungle.
yeah. We
Yeah,
consider that shit from the city.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's like we're in the valley, more away from the mountains, and it's but I think it was actually more jungle before, and then they cut it all down and then planted these longan fruit, which is what all these orchards were. Like, I guess like 30 years ago they were just a cash crop, so everyone planted them. But then because everybody planted them, they, the supply and demand, it's everybody's got
Yeah,
them, and they got cheaper, and that's why we got the land so cheap. Partly because of that, the trees were old, plus the fruit wasn't worth as much as it was, and we live right by the open crematorium, and Thai are real superstitious with, so they don't want to. Nobody has any. We live in the neighboring lands are all orchards too. We're maybe a kilometer from a village, and then so we're like the only people that build a house out here. And no, I think normally, yeah, we got a good deal for the land. It was like in dollars, is like $30,000 for the land, and but people didn't look at it as like, wow, they didn't see it as, wow, this would be a cool place to build a house. I mean, we're literally, yeah, right on the river. I think it's beautiful, but in their mind, it was just a orchard. And then because the trees are old and the fruits are not that valuable anymore, the land was not as valuable to them as I saw it. So I think we got a steal on this land. Yeah.
So how hard was the transition to go from regular city life to going to like jungle life, pretty much like a whole different culture, a whole different like reality of like not being around people that speak, regular English, and to going into a whole different culture? Like, how was that for you? Like, was it hard?
Well, it's funny to tell you the truth, because I'd say it actually, America was hard for me. I'd never fit in, like, or I mean, what I mean, I never, that lifestyle, the grind, the work, like I liked just sleeping in a gym, like that was kind of weird. Maybe in for America. Out here is more normal. Like a lot of the Thai trainers, kind of that's how they lived and stuff. So the transition was actually slow, because I did come over here initially in Phuket. Now Phuket's in the island down south. It's small population wise, very high tourist, so a lot of foreigners, and so I moved there, but it is more city and stuff, and although there were jungle areas of it, so I was living there, training, so there was more of a transition, and that was actually I lived more. It was actually my lifestyle in America was more normal here, so
Yeah.
that was what I was doing for about 6 years, of there, actually living in a city, regular apartment. We had apartments there, and then I made the transition. So there was that before I came up here. So there was a big transition from there to here, but I was already part of the culture, already speaking Thai pretty well, because I was living in the city for 6
Yeah.
years.
How long did you feel? How long were you able to speak Thai before you went over there? None, or you just kind of
No,
just
no, I
flowed with
didn't know any Thai, but as soon as I came here, I started learning, and then it's still not. It's an interesting language. I mean, it's kind of tough because of the tones and stuff. It's
Yeah.
their pronunciation, their letters just don't match up with English letters. Like you got to learn their alphabet if you want to speak without a strong
And you're
accent.
teaching, right?
What's that?
That you're teaching them English out there, right?
That's what I was doing in Phuket, where when I first came living, taught at elementary school, and then ended up teaching at university. But then, so yeah, to make it out here. So basically, yeah, a little on coming out here is, at that time my wife was and we weren't married yet, but she was managing a hotel, and I was teaching at the university, and we were just kind of, we made pretty good money, even though, I mean, in dollars it might not, we're only making maybe 1,500 a month, but we're working like 12-hour days, but that's actually a lot out here, and we're two incomes, rent and everything. We're only $1,000 a month on rent and food and everything, so we're able to like put away money, but we were like doing a lot of traveling, just kind of blowing the money to enjoy our lives. I was like,
Yeah.
30, she was 25 or something. We were just kind of enjoying traveling around. And then that's when we visited up here in the north, and we're like, wow, and she's from a different area. We both kind of got the idea, like, wow, it would be nice to move out of here, because we were kind of getting, it was stressful, our life a little bit, but we were making good money. We are like, let's just buckle down for like 5 years, save up money, and then buy land and stuff. And then so we were planning it the whole way. So during that time when I was teaching, to answer the question, I was teaching English to Thai people in a regular brick and mortar schools, and then I found the gig teaching online for Chinese companies, that there's a big demand, because China is such a big country, and they wanted native English speakers to help them, harbor
Yeah.
spies, maybe, for whatever reason so I was teaching for these companies, but the companies ended up shutting down when I came out here. So I was teaching. I had enough students that when the companies started shutting down, their government kind of shut down the companies, but I had enough students that that's what I'm doing now is just teaching privately. I have contact with them through, I mean, China's an interesting country because they got like, I mean, completely different system, infrastructure, everything, their internet,
Yeah.
their everything, but WeChat is the way we communicate. So I wish I would have had all my students because they all are looking like they're all looking for English teachers, but they're like, there's this weird wall to get through. We needed these Chinese companies to make the connection. And then, but once I had the connection, then I don't need the company anymore. But it was easy to work for the company. So I never really thought about breaking off and doing my own thing because, just then you got to set up payment and all this stuff. But when the companies closed down, I was like, oh shit, because now we're already here. And I could teach English at these schools, but I make more money teaching online. Plus, I like being home, close to my
Yeah.
family on the land. So yeah, that's what I'm doing out here is I actually all my 100% teaching Chinese students English online. Yeah.
I got a question for you. Like, what what do you think your life would be like if you never went out to Thailand? Do you think you'd still be alive? Do you think you'd be you think you would changed your ways? Do you think you would have snapped out of that problem that you had? Or you think you
Yeah.
know,
No. Yeah. No. No. It's hard to
I
say
think
because
what
I
to do
I
was leave.
I probably would have died of fentanyl, honestly, because
Yeah.
I'd do everything. Like I mean, I'd snort, smoke, shit, weird shit. I'd raid people's cabinets and just snort whatever they had in there. It was like I remember taking like the worst thing I did was like an it was a antidepressant. So I thought it would get me up, but it actually made me depressed or something. And then but anyway,
Yeah.
so I mean, I know that it seems like everybody. Do you know anybody that's died of fentanyl? It seems like everybody's got people that have
Um.
heard about it. It seems like it's laced in
Yeah,
everything.
I know other people, not like super close friends.
Yeah,
Like I've always kind of like been on my friends' asses. Like when they would do something stupid, like I've always been the guy to like yell at them. You know what I mean? It was
yeah,
mainly like, and like I still have buddies that'll drink here. I'm like, dude, what the fuck you doing? Like, get your shit together. Like I've
yeah,
always been pretty about that. I beat up my friends when I was younger if they'd smoke weed, like crazy shit like that. Now, like, what the fuck was I thinking? But
yeah,
like, I used to my friends if they were smoking cigarettes. Like, I was like that, man. I'd
yeah,
always be the D. So like, I think when we were growing up, I kept a lot of people probably safe from like doing stupid shit that I was close to. But I mean, my brother got into some shit for a little while, and he's doing better now. And we grew up the same life, so I was like, how did you go to that transition
yeah.
and I stayed in transition because I've never done anything right.
Mhm.
And like we both seen what my mom did and
Yeah,
how bad it was, and we seen how great my dad did doing what he did. And just to me, it's like we both have kids the same age. It's like what gave you that turn, and that I didn't do. Sometimes I think like that. It's like what was the difference? What was wired in my brain different from everybody else? Because I was like that forever. Like even when
yeah,
I was like I want to say I was in seventh grade. There was this high schooler. He offered me a cigarette. I tell people the story all the time. I was like, yeah, sure. And I grabbed the cigarette and I threw it. I said, don't ever offer a young kid a cigarette. Are you an idiot? Like that's how I've always thought. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like I'm
That's cool,
forever.
but yeah, it is. There is a peer. It's weird. If I think about it, it is who you hang out with. Like if you see people who have it together that are doing it is what I guess that's the kind of make or break. So I mean, you saw it on the bad sense. I was never really around it until the people that were doing it were all kind of experimenting with it, and we all had our shit together. I did well in school, and I kind of started. So it became like, so yeah, the way you enter, if you don't see the dark side of it, yeah, I hear about it. I remember the like dare campaigns and stuff, but I wasn't close to any darkness or anything. So for me, it was an easy to start. And then, yeah, once you start, you're
Yeah,
able
and
to function and stuff
it
for,
was with I did wrestling my senior year because I drank three times ever. I was probably like 18. Not even that. Whatever year was wrestling, I drank three times, maybe four. Uh, and we went out to parties. I never got blacked out drunk, nothing crazy. And when I did wrestling, for some reason, I never did a sport really before that, but for some reason when I did wrestling, it just changed everything for me. It gave me like that drive to just keep going and just doing different shit after that. So ever since wrestling, I went from wrestling to boxing to meeting you to doing MMA, having Dave, and then I worked with Dan, James, and Larry, and
Mhm.
all those guys for the longest time. And then now I'm just doing the jujitsu stuff, right? So it all kind of kept just going and going and going and going. And it's like never been like a stop. It's always just been constantly driving and doing something else. And then now it's doing the running, now it's lifting more weights, and now it's keeping like a pace going 7 days a week of just different shit, but not too much. Like it's, yeah, I mean, everyone goes, oh, you're working out 7 days a week, you don't take a break. Yeah, I don't, you know what I mean? But I feel okay doing it.
Yeah.
um it being at 38 years old, I mean, oh, I'll be 38 next month. But I feel like right now I've this is probably the best I've ever felt. And I don't do drugs, I don't do steroids. People think I do sometimes, but
Okay. Yeah. I was
man,
gonna ask about. You're doing.
yeah,
You're taking supplements of some sort, or just.
I I take creatine in the morning with protein, and then I have like a pre-workout, and then right after, well, I take the creatine and the protein. I mean, the creatine and the pre-workout in the morning. After I'm done working out, I drink a protein shake. I just eat pretty healthy. I haven't eaten sugar since the second week of December, so I kind of just kept that out. Like the only thing I have that's any type of sugar, well, it's not really sugar, is honey, natural honey. So
Yeah.
like I'll eat that peanut butter, and that's like been like my thing. That's like my treat.
Yeah.
Because I used to fucking just indulge on sugar, just anything sugar, just bam, bam. I'm eating the fucking. I'll eat the whole fucking bag.
Yeah.
There's not like. But I was listening to the podcast one day, and this guy was talking about. He goes, "Why have a full cheat day during the week when you do all that fucking work? Right? It's like it's kind of stupid, right? It's like
Yeah.
you're putting all the work in to just fuck it all up for one day. When you could have just one little fucking thing here and there. And that's cool. But like, yeah, it's just pretty much just like why waste working your ass off for a whole week to fuck it all up for one day? Like, and I was like, damn, I said that makes a lot of sense. And it should have been like put in your mind a long time ago to think like that. But
Yeah.
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
You
No.
know?
Yeah. No. It is kind of common sense, I guess. But it is. I yeah. I do like 5 days. I kind of work out, and then I do intermittent fasting too. I do just four. I just eat for 4 hours usually. I'm never
Yeah.
hungry in the morning, and then it's usually like 2 to 6. I do my eating, but then I don't. They're not cheat days, but on Saturday and Sunday, then I don't, because those are my actually. So yeah, I only for teaching English online. It's cool because my students are, they're off on the weekend, and they're all tiger moms. Like they got their kids just doing. They're doing so many extra lessons and stuff, and then so I teach all weekend, and then I'm free all week. Um,
Yeah.
so my Monday through Friday are like my days. Those are my days. I got my routine and stuff. But then I don't have to set my alarm or anything. I'm able to just like wake up at my.
Sleep.
I usually wake up early anyway, but I don't have to. I don't have to get up at a
Yeah.
certain time. And then, but I do on the weekend. I get up early and teach like all day long. And so on those days, I do eat. Yeah, I don't do my morning workout just because I wake up and go straight to the office because I usually set my alarm. And so they're kind of my cheat days. But yeah, just because to
I'm
be able
surprised.
to. What?
I'm surprised you don't cold plunge. I feel like you're the cold plunge guy.
Oh, I
Like I
am.
feel
No,
like.
no, I do cold plunges. But I don't do it every day just because I get it's crazy out here too. I only take cold showers. I never. But it's not that cold out here all in the winter. So I always do cold showers, and then I've got this bathtub that we made because we made our house like our neighbors kind of built it. So it's this big ass bathtub, and out here it's funny because they deliver ice, so I do get these big ice blocks, and but during the winter it's cold enough. I fill up the bath. Usually put Epsom salt mainly just because it's stagnant,
Well,
but it can
yeah.
last almost a week without like fungus starting to grow and stuff. So I'll just keep it in there. So actually, it's just starting to heat up now. Throughout the winter, I don't need the ice. It's cold enough just to jump in. Um,
Yeah.
and then, but now that it's getting hotter, this ice truck comes by, and I get like
Yeah.
these big blocks, and then because out here it's cheaper. Well, things are weird the way they do things. It's cheaper to get a big ice chest and get the truck delivers these big chunks of ice, and that's how places that sell anything that needs to be refrigerated are actually in ice chests with ice. So, but because of that, because that's just the way the ecosystem works, or not ecosystem, the well, kind of, yeah, the infrastructure of produce and you know,
Yeah.
everything, anything, meats and vegetables, whatever you go to the market, everything's on ice if it needs to be on ice.
Yeah.
So because of that, there's, yeah, constant, you can get ice delivered very cheap. So it's, I don't know, it's just funny. Yeah, it's funny. So I do some
I,
cool stuff
I
with-
I converted mine out of a deep freezer. So what I did is I sealed off the whole inside, and I got this little. I'll show you the little thermometer. It's off right now because the power's off, but there's a thermometer right there, and it keeps it at whatever degrees I want.
Oh shit.
So
Okay.
and I
So
have
wait,
two. So I have
it's
two fish filters running through there at all times to keep the water in motion, and
okay.
then I add 35% peroxide to it, and I have this like little light that keeps like bacteria away.
Yeah.
So I have that set up in there, and it cost me probably altogether. I got the deep freezer for $50. I got all this probably all the stuff altogether for $200 altogether. So
Whoa.
like it keeps it set at whatever I want, and yeah,
Wow.
I just turn it off when I get in to keep it safe. But
Yeah.
it stays at whatever degrees I want. Like I could have it at 37 degrees
Yeah. Yeah.
or and that's kind of where I was at 34 for a little while. I brought it back up to 40. I'm like, why the fuck am I doing all this to 40? I mean, it's fucking miserable sometimes because I do it at night. Sometimes right before I go to bed, I'm like, fuck, dude. So
Yeah.
I want to try to do it more in the morning times, but like, dude, I'm already getting up at 3:50 in the morning or
That'll wake
three.
you up though. Kind of,
Yeah,
right?
for sure. But like I gotta get in there and then I gotta work out for like my hour and then I go straight to work and then when I get home I get the kids and I hang out with the kids till a certain time and then at 6 o'clock then I'm heading to jujitsu or I'm running or I'm doing whatever cardio workout I'm doing. So like I just stay busy all the time. I probably sleep 3 4 hours a day.
Yeah. Show me that again. That you had that right there. That's a actual, like a freezer.
Yeah, here, I'll pop it open for
That's
you.
cool. That's crazy. I didn't even think about.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you got the two filters in here. Everything's turned off right now because we're the power, but
Okay.
it, right now it is at 40 degrees.
Nice. Okay. So that's, I mean, that seems like so wait, what's keeping it cold is
I got two filters running through there. I got one's like a bigger like fish filter like for like a pond,
yeah,
and then I got regular fish filter just for the extra, and
yeah,
it keeps it running clean. And then I add this 35% peroxide. It's like food grade peroxide,
yeah,
concentrated, and I add that to it. It keeps it clean. And every once in a while, I just got to change out the water, which is I drain it with the hose and then refill it, and it takes like a day to get back
yeah,
cold again.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
Wow.
I mean,
Okay.
fuck, better than $10,000. You know what I mean? But
Oh yeah, no, that's actually good. Yeah, because I actually kind of, yeah, kind of, I looked at different ones, yeah, and stuff. Yeah, I do like it because I love it. I
yeah.
love doing the
Be honest, like to fucking get ice for this to get it that cold is probably it's like 25 30 bucks sometimes, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
like you might as well just make your own.
yeah, 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 yeah,
In the deep freezer. I got this one, luckily I got it for $50. It's a 22 cubic feet. So I could just jump right in that motherfucker every day.
yeah, 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 yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah, I feel like it's been like a big change for me, like soreness wise, sleep wise. It helps out a lot, and just like breathing techniques and stuff like that because you gotta stay calm when you get in that fucking water.
oh yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. No, I
uh,
like that. Dude. That's inspirational there. Yeah, yeah, because I love it. Yeah, sometimes it's just, yeah, getting it, setting it up, but
it,
that's like
it's
always
cool
ready.
because like I did it just to do it, and then like someone else was like, yeah, I want to do it too, and then they did it, and then everyone started doing this challenge thing where we're just doing it all every day, and we're tagging each other in the post, and we got like fucking 10 15 people, and they're just doing it now, which is cool, you know what I mean? And everybody has like their different ways of doing it. Some people have the cold plunge, some people have the ice, some people have the little pods where you get into. So
Yeah,
it's pretty cool to see. And there's people that like would add me from somewhere else, and like they're
yeah,
doing it. Pretty
oh
cool
yeah,
to
yeah, oh yeah,
see people get into, and just people just seeing like the videos that I've been doing. The dads out there like trying to do better.
yeah,
And that's like a main thing with the some of the videos I've done with the kids, and I'm out there working out with them, and that's just real, you know what I mean? Like I just try to keep all of the videos that I've been doing about as realistic as it could get, because a lot of people fake shit. A
yeah,
lot of
oh
people
yeah,
like not really working out, whatever it is, right? It's like
yeah,
and that's what I told my buddy Anthony, like, because he convinced me to do this, because I would never do some shit like this ever. You know what I mean? He's like, dude, just try it. And if you don't like it, you don't got to do it. Right. It's like, just get out of your comfort zone. And like, I'm glad I did, because, it's helping out a lot of people that are parents or dads that, like, are trying to better themselves for their kids. And I think that's like a main thing we need to do, because they're our future.
Yeah.
Right. So that's like the biggest thing to me. It's like, if someone writes me, and there's days where I'm like fucking down, right? And you're like, what am I doing? What's my purpose? And then someone like writes me something like, hey dude, thanks for fucking helping me out. Like, that video helped me out. You know what I mean? Like, that's cool. Like, that's what it's about. Cause like sometimes you
Yeah.
don't get the most, you're not fucking, famous or whatever. And, if it could help like one person out, that's all it really matters at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Hell yeah.
because like, I always talk about with Fuel Hunt, I like their brand because I read one of their quotes one day and I was down, fucking, shit was happening at the house. I didn't have the kids. And I read one of their quotes and it got my ass up to fucking doing something. I'm like, that's the why, you know what I mean? Like, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, because that's what they did for me, like that type of shit. Right. So, there's always like that why factor, why we're doing what we're doing, right? Like, you're building that land for your kids, your
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
And so like, working out and trying to be a better dad, showing these kids the right way in life, not fucking be soft and just fall into society of just sitting on the phones all day long, which is hard. You know what I mean? There's days where you're gonna have to let them sit on the phone. It's raining outside, what can you really fucking do, right? But
Mhm.
if you out here hitting mitts and doing boxing or whatever, and my daughter's out here watching us work out, and my son likes to hit mitts here and there. He's not always wanting to do it. I'm like,
How's
listen,
your
dude, you're
son?
gonna. He's 10. He just
Okay.
turned 10.
You said your
Yeah, so
daughter's only two? What?
she'll be 2 in April.
Okay. Wow. Okay. And
Yeah,
that,
how old are your?
yeah, I just have a son. He's 4. He just
Yeah,
turned 4 in January. So I
he's
mean, I mean, those are their mother, same mother.
yeah, same mother.
And so you were together for a long time then.
Yeah, we were together for 10 years. Yeah,
Okay. And then, oh, so it's more recent that you guys,
it's been about a year and a half now. So yeah,
that's you just, is that a full-time thing or I mean, you guys are comfortably apart. That's the best for everybody or,
she cheated on me and left and fucking did the wrong thing, and it wasn't the first time that happened. So it was super hard for me at the beginning, right? Like, you got to face a reality of that's not going to work, right? And like, you're like, you tried to do everything you can, you did all your rights, and then like you just got to forgive yourself for letting yourself stay in those situations for so long, right? So it's like, now it's kind of like, now I got to do what's right, and that's being the best fucking dad I can. Not going and hooking up with all these girls in front of my kids and just
yeah,
worrying about dates. It's like, let's focus on learning how to love yourself again. Let's focus on you. Let's focus on doing the right things and get more successful with what you're doing, because now you got to do this all on your own, right? So you got to really get out there and grind, and show them the right way of doing shit, instead of just trying to go the easy way out and trying to find somebody new and doing all the dumb bullshit.
yeah,
Out to party, going out to do all these things. It's more of like, it's kids grind, and that's
yeah,
what I've been like a year and a half now. So
oh
it
yeah,
got me super motivated for my kids, especially.
yeah,
So those videos kind of helped in working out every day and making this gym. I made this gym during the pandemic in my garage,
yeah,
and that's kind of where I just started grinding from there. Was like, during the pandemic, I was like getting all these weights and everything else, and then I got a sauna in here eventually, and like, I would have never thought about all this shit. You know what I mean? I'm just a custodian. You know what I mean? So like, I'm not making the most money in the world,
yeah.
but
Okay, oh, yeah. I was gonna ask. Okay, so what are you doing? Because you said you got to get up at 3:30 in the morning.
yeah. So I get up 3:30. I wake up. I work out, get in the garage by 4 o'clock. I work out, and then I go to work. I've been a head custodian over at a junior high for 8 years now,
Okay.
and I help wrestling over there, and I try to get these kids doing the wrestling, because obviously that's what helped me out when I was younger. It gave me that outlet. It got rid of the anger that I had, whatever the fuck, right? So yeah, I try to get these kids in there, and some of them will last, some of them are softer than others, you know what I mean? And you'll get them in there here and there, and I only do it 2 days a week now, obviously, because I have the kids more,
Yeah.
but or one day a week, just depends. But yeah, they were yeah, it's definitely cool to see these kids kind of grow. And like, I tell these kids kind of like, well, like, oh yeah, I could beat you up, Mr. Randy, whatever, right? And then I go in there to beat them in the wrestling room, and like, damn, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And then like they kind of see, you know, like my videos or whatever, and now they're like, "Oh, Mr. Randy's cooler than I thought," because everyone always paints you as like your job is your like reality, right? It's like
Yeah.
when you're like that, they see you as just a custodian, and then like they know that I did MMA or whatever it was. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
always ask me what's wrong with my ears and shit. You know,
Yeah.
yours are a little bit more cauliflower than mine, but you know, mine are out there too. But yours are pretty fucking rough yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
No. And
uh but yeah, it's been cool. I mean, I enjoy the job. I definitely could probably go into doing personal training and shit like that. People ask me all the time, but I just enjoy the job of you know, dealing with the kids every once in a while. You know, the
yeah.
job's pretty cool. It got benefits, it got retirement, and I get to still do what I love to do, and it works with my kid's schedule. So like I
That
just
makes
kind of
sense.
been grinding it, and maybe we'll see what the future holds if I keep doing this job, or if I go into doing personal training or whatever. It's kind of just going with the flow of things right now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So
No, that's good.
yeah, but yeah, I definitely enjoying what I'm doing right now. It's and that took a long time to get into this spot because it was tough for like the first 6 months of not having my kids around and stuff like that. It was, but when you get past that storm, after that it's kind of like the you get past that storm, you get the rainbow part. You know what I mean? And it's starting to get there, and you're
Yeah.
starting to see the little bit, and and people are seeing, doing these videos or whatever, and people are seeing like, dude, you're fucking doing all these things, and it's good to see and stuff like that, and that's where I've been, just grinding.
Yeah. No, it's good to, I mean, it's good to be inspirational. That's what I said. Yeah, it is. It's nice to see, like you said, too, real shit. I mean, it's not, you, there are fakers out there that are trying to do it, but maybe they're trying to do it to motivate, but they're not actually doing it, and
Yeah,
to be doing it is inspirational because it's like, hey, there's it's
yeah,
easy to look at somebody as like, ah, they're doing it because this and then you're like, no, this
yeah,
same
and
same setup.
did,
We're just grinding, man. There's no
yeah,
excuses to not
a
be
lot
doing
of people did jujitsu like as much as I was doing it, because I mean I never would post it. I mean, I took a year off social media for a while, and I was doing tournaments after tournaments and stuff like that. And I've been a purple belt, almost a brown belt now. I don't know if you remember Derek Taquito.
Yeah, I do.
He's
Yeah.
he's brown belt. He's fucking
Okay.
badass.
Oh,
Still
really?
doing
Wow.
it.
Nice.
Yeah, still grinding. So he's been he's been with us forever too.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I
dude,
think he
he's
was
still
in Asana when I met you, wasn't he? Isn't that
yeah,
who was with?
yeah,
Yeah,
pretty,
yeah. That's yeah.
yeah. Yeah, he's been good. I see Gabe every once in a while. The one that was working at that gym at that time. I still see him here and there.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Um, it seems like everybody's kind of on a good path. Like no one's really fallen off too bad. You know what I mean? Like we all kind of have our little ruts and hills to climb, but it seems like everybody got into the right spot. It seems like now, Jesse's doing good. He's out there hunting.
Oh,
We
yeah.
go out there while you're doing good. You got your shit going. I would have never thought you would have been to where you're at. Coming from where you were at one point, you're fucking,
Yeah.
going crazy.
Yeah, it was a make or break. I mean, it could have came. I gotta give some credit meeting up with my girl and it's just having some direction or something. But yeah, if
But it takes you to do that though, right? It really takes you to change. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
you're the one to do the work. You're the one, because you can't get anybody to stop doing drugs. You can't get
no,
anybody to stop doing what they're doing. That's really up to you. You can only control yourself and what your situation is, and that's what you did. And I'm proud of you, man. For reals, it's
thanks,
good to
thanks.
see you so
I
good.
Yeah, I think about it too because yeah, you asked that question. What if I was there? Thailand is a better place for me. Just the culture, for me, even though all the shit's available here. I mean, even in some ways worse because like that was one thing that actually straightened me up was because there's no patrol cars out here, so you can drink and drive out here, and they'll have
Yeah,
checkpoints that you can easily avoid, and so I actually got in a wreck on my motorbike once, like, and then like, I mean, yeah, there's nobody, you won't get in trouble for it out here, like in America, the reason I would you don't want to drink and drive is the DUI more. You're not thinking about actually this shit's dangerous. You can die easily if you drink and drive it. You're gonna die. But uh, out here, it's more like it's more of a wake up call. Like nobody's gonna come and write you a ticket or something.
Yeah.
You're gonna die, and you're on
Yeah.
motorbike. We're all motorbikes here now. I have a car, but for 10 years, yeah, I was just motor. It's easier to get around and it's cheaper, and that's pretty much mostly motorbikes on the road. So and everybody's driving kind of crazy, and so it's more of a free for all out here in a lot of ways. So at the same time, yeah, it it's I mean, yeah, there's plenty of places to go in. Some people come out here and yeah, it gets worse. But in a way, this atmosphere actually straightened me up in a way.
Yeah.
It
And
was more,
also,
yeah, you're more have
it,
to be responsible for yourself. There's no
yeah,
yeah, I don't feel like the laws are gonna stop you from doing shit, you know. So you gotta find it in yourself.
yeah. And also, kids make you and break you, right? It's like you're gonna be a fucking good dad or you're not. I mean, I was
Yeah,
still fighting. I was fighting at bars or whatever the fuck we. I mean, even though I wasn't drinking, I was still fucking wild,
yeah,
dude. I'm
yeah,
out there fighting everywhere, and someone would say something to me, and we're fighting in the bars, and I get hit. There was one time I got smashed with this beer mug across my face, and I ended up winning the fight still. But I was like, damn, like, what if I didn't have my hood on and fucking that would have hit my eye and I would have been blind? It's like, I
yeah,
need to
yeah.
grow you know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah,
it's
yeah,
stupid, simple shit like that that could wake you the fuck up before,
oh
something
yeah.
really bad,
Yeah, it
you
is
know?
a huge difference from well, now I'm in my 40s, now 42, but like from 20s, yeah, my whole 20s, I look at it as like, yeah, that's just an era. It's hard to say. I mean, there are people who don't get out of it, but I guess yeah, I just grew up, I guess, at one point. I mean, it's
I'm
one way to look
still
at it.
60
Huh?
something years old, still doing meth, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
60,
yeah,
still doing meth, man. It's like, when's your lesson? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
when are you gonna ever? You know what I mean? It's like at that point, she's just there, just
yeah,
I feel bad for her because it's like, how do you ever, you never seen your grandkids, you don't, you'll never really get to witness life because you just stayed in that fucking bubble of,
yeah,
drug.
yeah, man,
And,
it's crazy.
so, and some people never escape and you did, dude. So fucking be proud of yourself, and you're doing your little podcast and you got your land and,
Yeah.
you're fucking killing it, dog. And I'm proud of you, dude, for reals.
Oh yeah, thanks.
It's,
No, that means a lot. I mean, you too, you're inspirational out there. I mean, you didn't have to kick that, but I mean, I mean, we all got, I mean, that's the thing, yeah,
all of it.
this podcast mental breakthrough. I mean, you've got your, obviously there's shit to overcome and just
All of
crazy
it.
shit in the world and society and stuff
Yeah.
in COVID and all that shit that cracked down on and thing. You took that chance. A lot of people, I think, broke. You built this, your little studio there. I mean, during
Yeah.
that time, kind of it was a make or break situation too. That whole pandemic era and just
Yeah.
times.
Either
I
you
mean,
sit on the couch and be weak, or you get out and fucking still keep grinding with whatever you could do. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much what it is with life, right? It's like
yeah,
you sit around and feel bad for yourself, but really, no one gives a fuck. At the
yeah,
end of the day, like you're still gonna have to go to bed by yourself. You're still gonna have to fucking pay your own bills. You're still gonna have to take care of your kids. It's either you sit back and cry about it, or you fucking get after it and just be fucking better. You don't fucking sit there and let someone drag you down to the floor. You gotta, wake yourself up and get after and know your worth. You know what I mean? That's
oh
with
yeah,
anything, know your worth, period.
oh yeah,
And a lot of people don't do that. They don't love themselves, which is hard. You know,
mhm,
hard to love yourself and also know your worth. Um, what you deserve in life. And right now, it's just my kids. For right now, that's what it's going to be. And who knows what the future holds, but for now, it's this everything's good.
oh yeah, nice. Good shit, brother.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, that's yeah. I know. Yeah, I don't want to keep you long. You're gonna be you're getting up early and everything, but I
yeah,
want to yeah, I want to do uh yeah, I want to do more. I like this. I like it's inspirational. It's good to connect and it's good to just I mean, we're kind of let each other know that that like we're doing stuff and moving forward and we're all going through our own steps, but it is what you said, just better in ourselves and yeah, now I hope it. I'm looking way in the future. Like I said, 2040s
Yeah.
my gathering. So we got plenty of time. There won't. I'm looking forward to doing it. I mean, our lives are interesting right now. We are in the grind state. You know, I think till we're 60, pretty much grind hard till 60
Yeah.
or something. You know what I mean? I mean that's pretty much.
Yeah.
But at 60 is a probably be able to slow down a little bit. You know, our kids will be grown and kind of on their own, and kind of
Yeah.
So
You
we'll
know,
be grinding for a while. Keep
yeah,
going,
for sure.
but we'll have
I
we'll
think
have
we'll be grinding in our 60s, dog. If it's in your blood, it's in your blood, you
yeah,
know?
I'm sure we'll be grinding in a different way, but it'll be more of
Yeah.
a different style. You know, I mean now it's role model, and
Yeah.
it's first now that
Yeah.
it's
It's more
not
not
about
your own,
us,
it's be
but
your own hero and give your kids an example. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And that's all we do is hopefully we could do better than, someone we looked up to, right? Like that's the thing. If I could do better than my dad, then I did something right, right? And if my son could do better than me, then that's all I could ask for, or my
yeah,
daughter.
oh yeah,
So
it is, yeah, pay it forward, right? That's kind of my I like that mentality is
yeah,
because yeah, my mom raised me well and everything and stuff, but it's like, and she's out here. She actually has dementia. She's living with me up in. She was staying here for a while. Now I got her in a place that's close by, and but she was such a wonderful mother and raised me. But it's like taking care of her to some extent, but at the same time, it's like it's really important to just keep paying it forward to the next generation because that's
yeah.
what's all
We learn
about. I
off
mean
their flaws, do
they're
better
the
than,
ones.
like, whatever they did a little bit wrong. We got to
Yeah,
try to do better to
yeah,
us.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. All right, brother. Well, I
Oh
love you,
yeah.
man.
All right, love you,
Good seeing you.
brother. Peace out.
And yeah, let's get another podcast in with Jesse and maybe Nelson. Let's get
Oh
some of the
yeah.
old gang, have a
Oh
little
yeah.
combo.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
Yeah. All
For
right,
sure.
brother.
All right, brother. Have a good one. Enjoy
You
your
too.
evening. Bye bye. Peace.
Yep. Yeah, ice bathing.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.